Hi, welcome to Beginning Ukulele 1A. Today we're going to be working on our music book on page 8. Also, please have handy your syllabus, or at least page number 3 of your syllabus. We're going to be talking about that, and then we're going to tune up our ukulele. So let's tune up our ukulele at this time. Your ukulele should sound pretty close to mine. We're starting with the G string, the C string, E string, A string. So if your ukulele doesn't sound pretty close to my ukulele, by all means please pause the tutorial, go ahead and tune up your instrument with the tuner and come on back. At the same time, go ahead and get your music book, turn to page 8, and have your syllabus handy, page 3 of the syllabus. Okay. We're going to go over the techniques that we learned in the prior tutorial and start keeping it handy near you. Try to always remember to do your techniques prior to playing any songs, any exercise, or whatever it is you would like to play on the ukulele. Those techniques are very important. They're just going to help you learn faster. Okay, so you at this time have finding your strum zone within 3 frets. And that's based on you being comfortable with your hand on the ukulele. In other words, finding your forearm, finding a spot on the ukulele, coming down, and finding a spot where you're comfortable. Okay? And then you're finding a spot within 3 frets to strum it. So you can strum anywhere within 3 frets. That's your strum zone for now. Now, some of you may have a smaller ukulele, such as this, and you may not have the frets up here. Try to pick a strum zone within some fret, okay, some area, or like this. If you don't have the rest of the frets, pick an area right about there somewhere, right about here. Okay. Now, once you found your 3 area strum zone, what you want to do is find your strum zone and just get comfortable with that position of strumming. So it's all downward strokes. So for instance, my strum zone's right about here somewhere. Right about there somewhere. And then I'm using downward strokes only. Down, 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 down. Just to relax. Find out where it's comfortable for you to hold the ukulele and strum. Okay? And the strum that we're using today is the free finger strum. Now I may have called it finger strum. It's the same thing. Free finger strum, same thing. So the free finger strum, basically it has like this, 3 fingers at the bottom come in, like you're pointing. Some may want to put their thumb down, or you don't have to, whatever's comfortable. The main thing is this finger needs to curl back and it looks like a hook. Okay, looks like a hook. Okay, because that's your strum finger. Okay, and when the finger comes down, if you look very closely, it's coming down at a slight diagonal. Okay, so it just can glide over the string. Okay, and once again, you want to be over some kind of fretboard, Okay, and then finding your strum zone within 3 frets. Okay, next, we're going to be doing the chord cog exercise. Chord cog exercise basically is putting the information into your brain directly and learning faster than you normally would learn conventionally. We're going to be learning the chord C and G7. By the way, the chord cog exercise is the concept of applying psychology and music together to help one to learn faster. Okay. So this is on page 6, C chords on page 6, G7 chords on page 8, which is your exercise which we're going to be doing today. But I got it written on the board, so you don't really have to look it up, but if you need to, those are the pages where they are. C chord, easy, 1 finger, 3rd finger, ring finger, 1st string, 3rd fret. Okay? Okay, so what the chord cog exercise is you're just basically making the chord. Here's a C chord. We're using the 3rd finger, ring finger, right there on the 3rd fret, 1st string. And all we're doing is we're pressing, relaxing, pressing, relaxing. Now your finger never leaves the string, okay? It never leaves the string. So you're pressing, relaxing, pressing, and relaxing, pressing, and relaxing. And a way you can tell if you're pressing too hard or not hard enough, if you notice when you press and your finger turns white like that, I don't know if you can see that on the tutorial. If you're pressing and it turns white, you're pressing too hard. You should only press enough where you can get a sound when you strum the ukulele. Okay, that's all you need to do. If you're pressing and then your finger is turning white, you're pressing too hard. Okay, so getting back to the chord exercise, pressing, relaxing, pressing, relaxing. Now we're gonna press, we're gonna lift a little bit off, like that. Press, a little bit off. Now you're looking at your finger now, and you're memorizing what it looks like on the fretboard. Okay, right there on the fretboard, on the string. You're also memorizing the back of the fretboard, I mean the neck, where your thumb is. You're noticing how it feels. How does the string feel under your finger? Lift off, press on. And you're putting all these images and feelings into your memory, into your brain, directly into your brain. Okay, pressing, lift off. Okay, now we're going to press on. Okay, we're going to close our eyes and lift off. Just a little bit, press on, lift off. Keep our eyes closed, press on, lift off, press on, lift off, press on, lift off. Try to picture it in your mind, press on, lift off. Picture it in your mind, press on, open your eyes. You should be on a C chord. And that's basically what the chord exercise is. It's doing that for all the chords that you're going to learn in the course. Naturally, it's going to get a little bit more difficult because the chords are going to start to get a little bit more elaborate. Okay, so let's move on. That's something that you want to remember and work on all through the course with all the chords that we're working on. Next chord, G7, page number 8. But it's G7, that's your fingering for the G7 chord. Okay, so let's try that together. First finger, 1st fret, 2nd string, right there. Next, we're going to put the 2nd finger up on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Next, we're going to put the 3rd finger or ring finger underneath on the 2nd fret, 1st string. Okay? So your finger should look exactly like mine. Alright? Now we're going to try it one more time. So go ahead and take out your hand off the fretboard. Take your hand off the ukulele. Try it again, one more time. 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. 2nd finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. And then the 3rd finger, the ring finger, on the 1st string, 2nd fret. And that's your G7 chord. So it should look exactly like the picture on page number 8, because you got your music with Candy. We're about to play that here in a little bit. Okay, let's do the chord exercise. So you got your G7. Now what you want to do in this case, because the G7 is a little bit more elaborate, is you want to freeze your fingers. Freeze it in that formation, okay? And right now we're not going to take our fingers off the strings. Here we go. G7, press, relax. Not leaving the strings now, press, relax. You're still touching the strings, press, relax. And you're noticing, you're memorizing how the chord looks. How it looks, put it into your memory, how it feels, how the string feels under your finger, press, relax. How the fingers look on the fretboard. Just put that whole image into your mind, press, and relax. Press and relax. Press and relax. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to press, we're going to lift off the fretboard, still keeping our eyes open, trying to memorize that position and keeping our fingers frozen in that position. Here we go. Press, lift a little bit off, press, lift a little bit off, press, keep it frozen in that position, lift a little bit off, press, keep it in that formation, lift a little bit off, press down. Okay, hold it. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, and keep them closed. Lift off, press down. Lift off, press down. Keep those fingers frozen. Lift off, press down. See the chord in your mind. Lift off, press down. See how it feels, how it looks. Lift off, press down. Hold it, and open your eyes, and you should be on a G7 chord or relatively close. Now, if you are far from a G7 chord, you need to pause the tutorial right here. Do a chord calc exercise with the G7 chord all over again. It takes a little used to. It may take a little bit, but once you get the hang of it, it gets easier. Okay, so take that time out, pause it if you need to, try it again, and then we'll move on in about a second. Okay, the next thing you're going to do after you've done the chord calc exercise is to preview your music. So on page 8, we're looking at the exercise right here. So if you follow along, at the bottom here, you can see there's some rest right there. So what the rest means is that there's no playing, you stop playing. So you just pause. Okay, the beats still go on, the beats still go on, but you pause. I'm not pause, but you stop playing. The number in the beginning of the music says 4/4 right there. Okay, that's your signature. That tells you your time. This is 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure, and the quarter notes. Don't worry about the bottom quarter notes. The main thing you remember is 4 beats per measure. We'll be learning other signatures later on. Once again, 4/4, 4 beats per measure, and also another name for this would be common time. So 4/4 also means common time, which is basically a C, common time. Okay. Now, always remember that when you play, you have to tap your foot. You have to tap your foot. That is like your metronome, your inner metronome to keep time, to make sure the music is even, and to keep yourself together with the music as we play. Next, you're going to preview the music. Preview the music, and you're going to do a chord calc exercise by previewing the music. For instance, first line of the music right here. I wrote it out. First line of the music right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do chord calc exercise. So in other words, we're going to look at the music, read the music, first line. I got a C, and I'm going to count out to myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of those strokes. Then change to G7. And the way that I would change to G7 is slide down 1 fret and put these other 2 fingers over. And then continue. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And by doing that, I am getting familiar with the piece of music. Okay, so let me show you that little trick one more time. So you got a C, which is the on the 3rd fret, 1st string. Just slide that ring finger down 1 fret, and then put the other 2 fingers on the fretboard. First finger right there on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and the 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. If you want to go back to a C, all you got to do is lift off the 1st and 2nd, lift off the 1st and 2nd, slide back to the 3rd fret. Okay? So at this time, pause the tutorial, do a chord calc exercise for the first line. The first line. So you're playing a C for 4 beats, or you're making a C for 4 beats, then you're going to make a G7. and use that little trick that I taught you. C, slide down 1 fret to a G7. Once again, C, slide down 1 fret to a G7. And then you would play this for 4 beats. Pause the tutorial, try that, and we'll get started in a second. Okay, so let's try it. Remember that, strum zone, free finger strum. We're on the C chord, we're going to play the G7, C to G7, first line only of the exercise. Here we go, I'll give a 4 count, not too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, C, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. So that's the first line. That's the first line. If that was a little difficult, you want to pause the tutorial right here and try that by yourself, or back up this section and try it. I did this first line with me again. When you're ready to move on to doing both lines, we'll start in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to play both lines. That's the first line and the second line. Both lines are in 4/4. And at this time, if you want to do a chord calc exercise for the 2 lines, I suggest you do that. You're just basically making sure that you can change between the 2 chords, C and G7, for 2 lines. Okay? If you need to pause the tutorial to do that, once again, do that, and we'll be starting in a second. Here we go. Let's get started. The first 2 lines of the exercise, starting with C. 4 count, same speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G7, 1, 2, 3, 4. G7, 2, 3, 4. Second line, C, 2, 3, 4. G7, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 1, 2, 3, 4. G7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Okay, so go ahead and give that a try. It might take a few times to do it. Once you get comfortable, then you can probably move on to the next tutorial. But you should be relatively comfortable with this exercise that we just did before you move on to the next tutorial, because the next tutorial we jump right into playing the song. Skip to my loop. So once you feel you're ready, use the techniques again, rewatch the tutorial, really emphasize and really get down and understand the techniques that were taught in this lesson. It's really going to help you learn a lot faster. Okay, so when you're ready for the next tutorial, we shall see you there.